You just didn't show up to another webinar today. You showed up at the start of a movement. For too long, we've been taught that success comes from hustle, grind, and endless effort. That your results are determined by your actions alone. What if I told you that the greatest limitation in your life isn't your time, skills, or knowledge, but your energy? Did you know that a single energetic shift can transform your entire reality? Science, experience, and the world's most successful leaders have discovered a profound truth that your energy creates your reality. Everything you experience, your business, relationships, wealth, is a direct reflection of your energetic frequency. Look at Oprah Winfrey, who transformed from a local news anchor into a global media icon. She often says her success came when she stopped trying to be Barbara Walters and started channeling her authentic energy. I had no idea that being your authentic self could make me as rich as I've become, she says. If I had, I would have done it a lot earlier. Consider Steve Jobs, who revolutionized multiple industries, not through conventional business strategy, but through what he called his reality distortion field, his ability to shift the energy of what people believed was possible. Even in the scientific world, Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that people who master their energy field can create measurable changes in their biology and their external reality. His studies document cases of seemingly impossible transformations, all triggered by energy shifts. Here is what's really exciting. This isn't just about billionaires and scientists. Let me share something that happened just last month. Erin, one of our energy leaders in the Aura Empower movement, that was stuck in what she called an action loop, constantly doing more, but not seeing results. Then she made a profound energy shift. Instead of pushing harder, she started her mornings with our energy alignment protocol. Within weeks, her entire reality transformed. Not only did she triple her business growth, but she emerged as one of our most magnetic community leaders, naturally drawing others into her new frequency of success. Today, Erin doesn't just participate in the movement, she embodies it. She is the living proof that when you shift your energy, you shift everything. Come to Aura Empower, a movement designed to shift the way people create, lead, and succeed. Energy. Below this video in the chat, if you are ready to step into this new paradigm of success. Transformation isn't unique. In fact, her story reminds me of when I found myself 2 years ago. Let me be honest with you about something that changed everything in my own journey. 2 years ago, I found myself in what I now call a content creation trap. You know that feeling when you are doing everything right on paper, but something feels off. That was me. I was caught in three patterns. First, there was this constant pressure to creating content like my life depended on it. Following every expert strategy out there. Sounds familiar? Then, what I call the energy depletion cycle. It looked like this. Waking up already thinking about what I had to post. Going to bed worried about tomorrow's calendar. My mission had become a 9-to-5 job in my own business. I was passionate about it become this energy draining obligation. Finally came the diminishing returns trap. Despite all the effort, the harder I worked, the less impact I had. My engagement was dropping. My message wasn't landing. I was pushing harder than ever, but getting less and less return. Came a wake-up call. I'll never forget that moment. It was 11 p.m. I was staring at tomorrow's content calendar, feeling absolutely exhausted. And suddenly, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I had turned my mission into a machine. I was creating from obligation instead of inspiration, from fear instead of purpose. And that's when I discovered something that would change everything. That transformation followed through three fundamental shifts in how I approached everything. The first shift was putting energy before action. Instead of asking, what should I post? I started asking, what energy do I want to transmit? It seems simple, but it changes everything. The second shift was choosing alignment over effort. Rather than creating from a place of depletion, I started creating from inspiration. Instead of forcing content, I allowed it to flow. And the third shift, it was moving from quantity to energy impact. I stopped measuring success by how much I was producing. I started measuring it by the energy I was transmitting. The results were immediate and, frankly, shocking. My content creation time got in once. My engagement tripled. The impact of my message doubled. But most importantly, I felt energized by my content again. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but is it really that simple? This isn't just my story. This is actually backed by some fascinating science. See, Harvard researchers have discovered that our energy field influences every single decision we make. The Health Maths Institute has proven that our emotional frequency creates an electromagnetic field that shapes our reality. Quantum physics shows us that everything, including success, is fundamentally energy. Have you ever felt like you are doing everything right, but something still feels off? Type yes if you can relate in the comments. Now that you understand why energy is the key, let me show you exactly how to use it. Because what I'm about to share isn't just another framework or system. This is the exact code that transforms energy into reality. You see, there are three distinct pillars that make this transformation possible. When you understand these, everything changes. Let's talk about the first pillar of this. Let me show you just how this works, starting with the foundation of it all. You see, there is a reason why some people seem to attract success effortlessly, while others work twice as hard with half the results. And it all comes down to one fundamental truth. The greatest mistake most of us make, we operate from our past energy instead of our future energy. Let me show you what I mean by this. Stanford University recently made a fascinating discovery. When you are fully present in what they call a possibility state, what we call the future self energy, your neural pathways actually fire 47% faster. Think about that for a moment. Your brain literally processes information differently when you are in an elevated. This is why people who can follow exactly the same strategy get completely different results. It's not about the action, it's about the energy behind the action. Let me share something powerful with you. There are three distinct ways we show up in the world. I call these our energy signatures. And once you understand them, you start seeing them everywhere. There is what I call forced energy. This is where most of us start. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Pushing against resistance like swimming upstream. Running on pure willpower. Constant exhaustion, but still pushing harder. Diminishing returns despite increasing effort. Think about those days when you are checking tasks off your to-do list, feeling more drained with each accomplishment. Second is what we call resistant energy. This is where we get stuck when we try to change, fighting against the very changes we want to make, questioning every action, even ones that we know are right, overthinking until opportunities pass us by, knowing what to do but feeling frozen in place like a deer. It's like having one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. You are ready to move forward, but something holds you back. Finally, there is the aligned energy. This is where transformation happens. Action flows naturally, like you are being pulled forward. Momentum builds effortlessly, one win creating the next. Opportunities seem to find you at the right moment. Results compound naturally, creating exponential growth. Think of these moments when everything just clicks. That's aligned energy in action. Now that you understand how these energy patterns work in day-to-day business, let me show you what happens when you apply this to your personal transformation and creating content online. Laura's story perfectly demonstrates this. When she first joined us, she was deep in forced energy, running her business like a never-ending sprint, creating content at 3 a.m., always in what she called emergence mode. That's forced energy at its peak. She then moved into resistant energy, knowing something needed to change, but hesitant to trust a new way. I knew my current approach wasn't sustainable, she tells us, but I was afraid to let go without losing anything I'd built. Then something fascinating happened. Through our energy alignment protocol, Laura discovered what aligned energy truly feels like. Her content started flowing naturally. Her team began to thrive without constant oversight. And most remarkably, her business grew by 250% while she worked less than ever before. Can you imagine that? The beauty is you don't have to stay in any one pattern. Just like Laura, you can move from forced energy, where you are pushing against reality, through resistant energy, where you are learning to let go, into aligned, where you are flowing with your highest potential. Which of these energy patterns or signatures feels more familiar to you right now? Type resistant or aligned in the chat. There is no wrong answer. It's all part of the journey. Here is the question that changes everything. If aligned energy is so powerful, why do we stay stuck in old patterns? Let me share a powerful example of how this transformation actually works in real life. I'll share Christian and Christian's story. Now that you understand how these energy patterns work in day-to-day business, let me show you what really happens when you apply this to your entire leadership approach. Christian and Christine's story perfectly demonstrates this. Christian and Christine came to us in a state of what we call successfully stuck. From the outside, everything looked good. They had the strategies, the systems, and the knowledge. But internally, they were exhausted, constantly switching between different gurus' methods, trying to find the right way. Their breakthrough, when they stopped asking, what should we do? And started asking, who do we need to be? Through our energy presence protocol, they began embodying their future self energy before taking action. Instead of waiting to feel successful, they started operating as if they were already their most successful selves. The shift was dramatic. Their communication became more authentic, and team members naturally started stepping up as leaders. Their business grew by 280% in 90 days. Sustainable growth continued at the rate of 40% per month over month. Today, they lead our weekly energy mastery calls, helping hundreds of others make the same shift they did. Their Presence First training series has become a cornerstone of our movement's leadership development. So, what energy pattern do you recognize in your own journey? Understanding your energy patterns is just the beginning. Now, Let me show you how to actually shift these patterns through the power of frequency. I'll first talk about this frequency, which is your energetic signature. See, your frequency is like a magnet. It either attracts or repels success. There is no neutral. Let me share with you the 3 core principles that transform how you create success. The first principle is what I call the frequency law. Here is the truth that most people miss. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are, or what you become. Every single result in your life right now is matching your energetic frequency. Think of it like a radio signal. You can only receive what matches your frequency. And your energy field, it extends far beyond your physical body, touching everything and everyone around you. For example, have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly change its energy? That's the frequency law in action. Their frequency is so powerful, it transforms the space around them. The second principle is about how we shift our frequency. This is where it gets really interesting. Your frequency is determined by 3 key elements. First, there is your emotional state. For example, fear creates contraction. It literally makes your energy field smaller. Love expands. It accelerates everything. It's like switching from a candle to a lighthouse. Then there is your thought patterns. This is fascinating. When you focus on your past, your frequency lowers. But when you focus on the future, your frequency elevates. How about your present moment awareness? This is like an amplifier for your power. Finally, there is your energy management. How you set your frequency in the morning, check it throughout the day, and restore it in the evening. Think of it like tuning an instrument to maintain perfect pitch. The third principle is what I call frequency momentum. This is where everything changes. As you elevate your frequency, it naturally begins to compound. Each aligned action creates stronger resonance. Your energy field becomes increasingly magnetic. Instead of pushing for opportunities, they start finding you. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, gathering size and speed. Every win creates more wins. Every aligned action opens more doors. Your success becomes inevitable because you are operating at the frequency of your future reality. But here is what makes this truly powerful. These aren't just theories. I see these principles transform lives every single day in our community. Let me show you how this works in real life. Kent and Sadie came to us caught in what we call the action addiction trap. Their 2 full content calendars were posting on every platform, following all the right strategies, but their energy was scattered and their results completely stagnant. They were living proof of these 3 principles. First, their frequency was mismatched with their desires. Second, They weren't managing their energy. They were just pushing harder. And third, they had no momentum because they were forcing instead of flowing. Their breakthrough came through what we call the frequency alignment protocol. It's actually surprisingly simple. Just 7 minutes in the morning to clear their energy field and set their frequency intention. Then 2-minute checks throughout the day to align their decisions and actions. And finally, learning to trust their intuition over logic. Let me show you exactly what happened when they applied the 3 principles. The first principle in action. Remember the frequency law we just talked about a short while ago? Within days of shifting their energy, their audience started responding differently. They were being different. Their authentic frequency naturally attracted aligned opportunities. Now, the second principle, the breakthrough, they mastered their frequency elements. They shifted from fear-based content to excitement-driven content. They stopped obsessing about past metrics and started embodying future vision. They implemented our energy management protocol religiously. The third principle was momentum. Each aligned action built on the last one. Content creation time went from 4 hours to just 45 minutes daily. Engagement shot up by 300% in 60 days. Conversion rates went up from 12% to 37%. Their team doubled in size in just 4 months. Today, Brent and Sadi lead our monthly flow state mastery workshops, showing others how to break free from action addiction and step into frequency mastery. When they teach these principles, their students' transformation happen even faster because the frequency momentum is already built in. Now, you might be wondering exactly how they made this shift. What were the specific steps? This is where it really gets exciting. Let me show you the exact protocol they used. The same one that's now transformed thousands of leaders in our community. It starts with a simple but powerful morning practice. 7 minutes literally to rewire your frequency for the entire day. Here is exactly how it works. Step 1, which is about energy clearing. The first 2 minutes are about clearing or creating space. Just like you wouldn't pour fresh coffee into a full cup, we start by clearing your energy field. It's simple but profound. Most of our leaders say this becomes their favorite part of the day. Step 2 is frequency setting. The next 3 minutes are when the magic happens. Instead of jumping into a day with whatever energy you wake up with, you now consciously choose your frequency. Think of it like tuning an instrument to perfect pitch before a performance. Step 3 is field expansion. The final 2 minutes are about extending your energy fields. This is where Brent and Sadiq's breakthrough really happened. They stopped containing their energy and started radiating it. Here is what makes this protocol truly transformative. It's not just about the morning practice. Throughout the day, they learn to do what we call frequency checks. These take just 30 seconds, but they are like hitting a reset button on your energy. I remember the exact moment Brent and Sadie told me everything had changed. It wasn't about the metrics or numbers anymore. They said, for the first time, we are not pushing our business forward. It's pulling us into new possibilities. We are not creating content, we are channeling inspiration. We are elevating energy. Take a moment right now and imagine what that would feel like in your own business or life. What would change if your energy was pulling opportunities towards you instead of you pushing to create them? Frequency shift would create the biggest breakthrough in your business. Type it in the chat right below this video. See, all these shifts you are naming, they are possible. But here is what makes this next piece so crucial. Is the alignment or accelerator. You know what's fascinating about success? It's not just about having the right energy. It's about having that energy perfectly aligned with your actions. When these two things come together, that's when success becomes inevitable. I want to share something that changed everything for me and countless others I've worked with. Most people get this completely backwards. Let me show you what I mean. Think about how most of us approach success. We take action first, right? We dive in, start doing things, and then hope our energy will somehow catch up. We hope we'll feel motivated once we get going. Sounds familiar? But here is what really happening, in this case, when we do this. We are essentially trying to push a boulder uphill. We are using willpower to force results. And what happens? The results don't last. They can't, because they are not aligned with our energy. This is where the alignment principle comes in. Instead of taking action and hoping energy follows, we set our energy first. We let aligned action emerge naturally. And here is the magic. When we do this, the results don't just happen, they compound. Let me show you how this works through something we call the 3 levels of alignment. This changed everything for our community. The first level is what we call energy action alignment. Think of it like every action you take has an energetic signature. When that signature matches your desired outcome, that's when magic happens. When it doesn't, that's when everything feels like a struggle. The second level is decision alignment. This is fascinating. Every decision you make either drains your energy. The key is learning to feel the difference. We use 3 simple questions. Does this match my future self frequency? Number 2, does this energize or deplete me? And lastly, number 3, does this feel like force or flow? And the third level, this is where it really gets exciting. We call it momentum alignment. This is where small shifts compound into massive transformations. Day number 1, you make subtle energy shifts. On day number 30, you notice real transformation happening. And by day 90, your entire reality has shifted. Ashley and Brandon came to us feeling exactly like this, pushing a boulder uphill. They had the right vision and the right passion, but something felt off. Through our 10-minute alignment acceleration practice, they discovered something fascinating. They were operating from what we call future fear energy, always worried about what might go wrong instead of excited about what could go right. Can you imagine that? The difference between those two. Their transformation came through 3 key shifts in how they approached everything. The first shift was their morning alignment. Instead of jumping into action, they spent minutes embodying their future self energy. The second was mastering their decisions, learning to choose from alignment rather than fear. And the third, this was the game changer, moving from force to flow in everything they did. And the results, you might be wondering, in just 90 days, their business grew by 180%. Their team retention jumped from 65% to 94%. And team performance increased by 150%. But most importantly, they finally felt like themselves again. The struggle was gone, replaced by natural momentum. Today, they pioneer our Energy Leadership Certification Program, helping other leaders make the same shift from force to flow. What's fascinating about these stories? Christian and Christine's story, Brent and Sadie's that we have mentioned, as well as Ashley and Brandon, which I've just mentioned, is that none of them added more strategies or worked more hours. In fact, they all started doing less, but from a completely different energy. This is what happens when you stop trying to force reality and start aligning with it. When you shift your energy, you shift everything. This brings us to something bigger than individual transformation. This is about a movement that's fundamentally changing how success works. Let me share something that happened just this week in our community about Michelle's breakthrough. Michelle posted in our community about her first aligned launch. Instead of pushing and grinding, she followed the energy protocol. Not only did she double her results, but she did it while working half the time. Then there is Jacob, who transformed his entire team dynamic. After implementing our energy management practices, in the morning meetings, something fascinating happened. His team started performing at levels they had never thought possible. And the best part, no more burnout, no more pushback. Then there is Emma's magnetic attraction. You might want to listen very intently to this one. Yesterday, Emma shared how her client attraction completely transformed. She stopped chasing leads and started radiating. Within 2 weeks, her calendar was full of aligned opportunities. Can you imagine? What's really exciting is watching our new members step into their power. Thomas joined us just a month ago. He was skeptical at first, an engineer who wanted proof. But after just 1 week of energy practices, he noticed his team responding differently. By day 30, his entire department had shifted. Then there's a Rachel's momentum. See, Rachel's story shows exactly how this compounds. She started with just the morning protocol. Then her team noticed the difference in her energy. Now, they are all doing the practices together, and their productivity is completely transformed. What's happening in our community isn't just individual success stories. It's becoming a movement. Like I was just, talked in the beginning, the Aura Empower movement. It's becoming a movement. In our regional meetups, leaders are sharing how their entire organizations are shifting. Our online community is filled with daily breakthroughs. Just last week, in our leadership certification program, a corporate team eliminated burnout whilst increasing results. And a startup founder, whilst a content creator, found their authentic voice and tripled their impact. This is happening every single day in our community. But here is what makes this truly powerful. These aren't just isolated successes. Each person who elevates their energy creates a ripple effect that lifts everyone around them. This brings us to a critical moment. Because right now, you have a choice. What you are seeing in our community isn't just transformation, it's validation. Validation that success doesn't have to come at the cost of energy or your energy. That leadership doesn't have to mean burnout. And that business growth doesn't require constant grinding. Every story you've heard today represents someone who was exactly where you are or you might be right now. Maybe you are creating content that drains instead of energizes. Or perhaps you are leading a team but feeling the weight of responsibility. Or you might be growing a business but sensing there has to be a better way. Is your invitation to something different. Not just another program or strategy, but a completely new way of creating success. But here is what's crucial to understand. Transformation doesn't happen through inspiration alone. It happens through aligned action, like we've just been talking previously. That's why I am about to share something that will transform everything for those who are truly ready. It's the 7-day energy shift challenge. This isn't another program. This is your gateway to a completely new reality. Everyone I've shared with you today started with one common truth. They knew they were meant for more. They sensed there was a different way to create success, to lead, and to make an impact. You might be feeling this right now. Knowing there is a bigger impact you could make, sensing that hustle isn't the answer, or feeling called to lead in a new way. Or you are ready to transform not just what you do, but how you do it. This is why we have created the 7-day energy shift challenge. Transformation doesn't require months, or years. It requires alignment, commitment, and the right guidance. Now, in the 7-day energy shift challenge, days 1 and 2, which is the energy recognition and reset, you discover your natural energy signature. You clear energy blocks and limitations. You create your unique power state. You build your energy field strength. Then by day 3 or 4 on the challenge is the frequency elevation. You elevate your energy frequency, activate magnetic attraction, amplify your natural impact. You create effortless momentum. By day 5 to 7 of the challenge is what we call the alignment acceleration. You step into your full power, lead from authentic energy, create quantum results, building lasting transformation. From day 1, you will experience natural flow, replacing forced action, increased impact with less effort, magnetic attraction of opportunities, influence through energy. This time next week, you will either be exactly where you are right now, pushing against a resistance, or operating at an entirely new frequency, leading the energy revolution. It isn't about choosing a path. It's about stepping into your power. Whether that leads you to transform your business, elevating your leadership, or your energy will show you the way. For those who are ready to lead the movement, for those called to something bigger, for those who know they are meant to transform not just their own reality, but lift others. Type 7 days in the chat below this video if you are ready to step into your full power. The energy shift is happening right now. At this moment, you have a choice that will determine not just your next week, but your entire trajectory. The part number 1 is the energy leadership circle. This is for those who are ready to be part of our daily energy elevation. Morning energy mastery practice with our community. Live frequency alignment sessions. Direct access to our transformation protocols. And weekly energy mastery training. Most importantly, you will be surrounded by others making this same shift. Then there is part 2, the high frequency transformation. This one is for those who are called to accelerate their energy mastery. There will be one-on-one energy alignment guidance, rapid frequency elevation, movement leadership development, and direct access to our core leadership team. This is where leaders become movement catalysts. 3 of this is the 7-day revolution. This is where it really gets exciting. This is where many of our most powerful leaders begin. You will have immediate access to daily protocols, live community support, rapid energy transformation, foundation for bigger shifts. Start your energy shift today. That's what we get on this 3rd shift. Now, whatever path or those 3 paths I've just mentioned that you choose, you are not just joining a program. You are stepping into a movement that's redefining how success works. For everyone who commits to their transformation, Today, we got some bonuses. Bonus number one is the Energy Mastery Toolkit, where you get daily energy practices, frequency maintenance protocols, success acceleration templates. Bonus number two is the private energy strategy session, where you get personal energy assessments, customer alignment plan, and rapid breakthrough protocol. And bonus number three is the VIP movement access, where you get priority community support, advanced training access, and early movement initiatives. By this time next week, you will either be exactly where you are right now, feeling that same pull towards something bigger. You will be fully aligned with your highest frequency, leading the energy revolution. For those who feel the call, for those ready to lead, for those meant to transform not just themselves but others, type transform in the chat below this video right now. To everyone who just said yes, congratulations. This isn't just a decision. This is your moment of alignment, your point of transformation, your step into leadership. Welcome to the movement. Feel the energy of possibility. That's your future self calling you forward. That's your impact waiting to expand. That's your leadership ready to emerge. This is where transformation begins. This is where leadership evolves. This is where the movement grows. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to lead. Thank you for being part of the energy revolution.